Hi, beautiful angel princess queens. Welcome to another episode of the Blondest Podcast. I'm your host, Savanna Boda, and my co-host, Tyler Jacoby, is not here today. Dun, dun, dun. He's in the doghouse. Just kidding. He's in New York, living his best life. He went to the National Youth Orchestra. Yes. And he went to go watch his friends play. So he had such a good time. He's so sad he couldn't be here with us, but it's okay because the next couple episodes are going to be just me. So you guys get me all to yourselves. And I do have some really exciting news. If you guys haven't seen the news on Instagram, Tyler, it's so cold in here. I'm shivering. Brr. But Tyler, it's now working at SBA. He's going to be our CGO, Chief Growth Officer, and I'm so excited. He's going to help us take SBA to the next level. He has been such an amazing person in my life. Like, he's like a brother to me, my best friend. Like, I could cry, honestly, talking about it, because you meet those people in life, that are just ride or dies, and that's what Tyler is for me. Like, I just could not imagine my life without him, and being able to work more closely with him is going to be so amazing. So the reason he's coming to work with us, well, let's back up. So if anyone's new to how Tyler and I met, even though I think we've talked about it a million times, but this could be your first time listening to my podcast. So Tyler was one of my first clients, first high-paying clients when I went solo. He single-handedly funded the storefront, I swear, because he would drop racks at SBA. So he was a client of mine, and we always just jived and we got along. And then as my business started to grow, at this point, it was just me. I really needed help, especially when I was moving to the spot that we're in now. And so he basically recommended one of his friends to work for me because she was home from COVID and she needed a job and she was in college, but everything was online. So she moved back with her parents. And so Adrielle was her name. She worked with me for a little bit until she went back to school. And then Tyler joined the fun. And then, obviously I couldn't pay great at that time because I was just building the business. Like, we weren't making the kind of money that we make now. So, he wasn't getting paid great, but he was getting paid fairly for what I could afford at the time. And anyways, long story long, he quit and went back to UPS. And now that SBA is thriving and I can afford what he's worth, he's coming back. And he's been begging me to rehire him for the past 6 months, but I honestly was really nervous about it because you never want to mix friendship with work. And, they always say don't shit where you eat. And I was just so worried that us working together would affect our friendship in a negative way. And I would literally die. I'd have to cut my heart out. It would hurt so bad if anything happened between Tyler and I. And, I have a lot of abandonment issues and just trauma from my past, he's truly the most constant person I've ever had in my life besides my husband. I've always had issues with people not being who they say they are or just being bad friends to me. And so I keep my circle really, really small. And having Tyler in my life is really one of the most important things. He truly is top 3 people in my life, And so I was just nervous that it would affect us or, it would just something would happen and I would lose my best friend. And he really talked to me about it. And he was like, if we're best friends, we should be able to go through anything together. And Tyler and I don't fight. We are so upfront with each other that we've never had a fight. We've been friends for 5 years now. So anyways, it's just nerve-wracking for sure because of how much I love and care about him and, all of that. But I talked to my therapist, Jan, about it. And she's like, you know what, this is truly what you need for your business. Tyler knows SBA inside out. He knows what we need. He's that person I can trust because the issue really is that right now we're just maintaining. Every day I get up and I'm doing Instagram and I'm doing 14 clients a day and I'm just maintaining what I've built. But I want to grow my business. I want to be able to venture off to other things. There's 3 other businesses that I've been trying to build on the side for the last 3 years that keep getting pushed to the side because my day-to-day is just such a huge thing. It's so time consuming. So having Tyler to facilitate that for me and, help us find a new space, and which, by the way, I'm excited to say SBA is moving into 5,000 square feet. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is going to be amazing. We just signed everything a couple days ago. And yeah, like stuff like that, like Tyler found the building for us. So it's like things that like I don't have time for and like honestly don't need to do because for me, I know what I'm good at. I'm good at marketing. I'm good at being hands-on with my clients. And I like being the creative of the business. I don't like doing all of the like going to find a new space and like all the ins and outs of business. Like I am not a business girl. I am a creative. So it's really nice to have someone that I trust and can take care of the things that like I don't have time to do nor really want to do. And Tyler loves doing that kind of stuff. So it's just going to take us to the next level. I just am so happy because I know he's going to help grow the business and I'm going to be able to be with him more. So it's going to be amazing. So anyways, with all that aside, let's get into Grapegate. So if you've been living under a rock for the last month, you probably don't know what the hell Grapegate is. So let's start from the beginning. Grapegate. Dun, dun, dun. So one day, I'm just, on Instagram. I open up a DM and this girl is like, have you seen this? And I'm like, have I seen what? And I couldn't see it because apparently I had this lady blocked, which makes sense. And you know what? I have a lot of people blocked. I really do. I am like the queen of blocking. Like I am protecting my peace. You say one negative thing to me, blocked. Like I'm just block. You don't like block. I'm just block. That I'm literally should get it tattooed. I'm in my era of blocking people because for the longest time I would just be like, oh yeah, that was rude, whatever, But no, if you're gonna go out of your way and be mean to me, block. I don't have time for that. I don't care. I'll lose followers over it. Even if you follow me and you're being mean, block. So anyways, this lady was blocked. I didn't know who she was, but I'm sure she said something in the past. Like I said, I block a lot of people. So, yeah, I had no idea. So anyways, I asked the lady to screen record it for me. She sends it to me. And it's a 15-slide story of this lady ranting about my photo that I posted with grapes covering my breast. And I was like, not upset about it, actually. I thought it was really funny. I'm like, there's no way that this lady is so mad. Like, it has to be satire. Like, I was like, there's no way that this is, like, legit and real. It was. And at this point, I just, was like, okay, maybe she woke up and had, like, a bad day and was just, like, maybe she's, like, very conservative, like, woman. I get it. Not everyone likes that kind of stuff. And it was risque. I debated even posting it. But I was like, I have the chest of a teenage boy right now. Like, when I had my G's, I would have never posted a picture like that because I had too much boob, But even if you do, even if you have triple D's and you're going to post a picture like that, like, that's your prerogative. Do what you want to do, boo-boo. Like, I support it. But you can't sexualize a teenage boy's body. And that's what I have. There is no meat to these tits, okay? None. I could walk literally around town with my shirt off if I cut my hair and people would think I was a boy. So anyways, that's that on that. And honestly, it's like wearing a bikini. My bikinis show more skin than what I was showing in that picture. But anyways, I respected her opinion. I thought it was funny. And I was like, it's just so unhinged. I think I'm just going to make a reel using that audio because, again, I thought it was funny. And from there, what happened? The story just gets worse. So she starts going on her stories and starts like blasting me and like saying all this stuff. And I never said this lady's name, never showed her profile, never outed who she was. But later in the day, like 4 or 5 hours later, I guess one of her ex-employees heard the audio, recognized the voice, and commented the lady's username. And basically talked about how allegedly this lady was like very abusive to her and led her to opening her own business and all of these things. And then all of these other people started coming out of the woodwork to share their experiences with this same lady. And then, of course, since people are commenting this lady's name and my comments, people start digging. My followers start to see what's happening. And I was trying to police it, but again, I had 14 clients in clinic that day. So like in between clients, I'm like trying to go through these comments and like delete where they're adding her name because that wasn't the point of it. Honestly, it was just supposed to be funny and like an unhinged audio that I was just making content from and like just making light out of something so nasty that someone said about me. I never wanted her to get like bullied or attacked. Like I've been bullied many, many times. I get bullied pretty much every day on the internet, but I will never condone that. Like, someone can literally throw rocks at me and I will send them flowers back. Like, I'm never going to put someone down or try to harass or bully them or allow my followers to do the same. And it's hard with social media because I feel like everyone's like an FBI agent and they just figure things out really quickly. So, of course, I'm sure some people said some not so kind things to her, which is sad. And if you're any of my followers listening to this, anytime you see anyone being mean to me, I never want you to stoop to their level and bully them back. We're better than that. We're mature, classy ladies that like to put fruit over our breast. But it's just, you don't win when you fight fire with fire, It's just nobody wins in that situation. So anyway, then this lady gets on her stories and starts like just saying that she like isn't apologizing for what she said and that have no self-esteem and I'm unclassy and all kinds of stuff and that I'm low class and no self-respect and all this stuff. And then one of my followers finds a picture of this lady naked, pregnant on her business page, not a personal page, like literally something that she posted on her own platform on her business page, the same page she's bullying me from, of her pregnant, naked, covering her breast in the streets of New York. Yet I'm a bad mom. I think she slayed. I love that picture. I had a million naked pictures of me when I was pregnant with Cyrus. Like, I think it's beautiful. Embrace motherhood. Embrace your body. Love who you are. But it's just funny to me that she was coming for my neck and going so hard about my photo on my business page when she did the exact same thing in the streets of New York. I was in the comfort of my own home. But again, I'm not judging her. I would literally do the same thing. I support it. But it was just funny because it's hypocritical. But that's not where the story ends. Then we see that there's all of these pictures of her on her page talking about me, dating all the way to 2020. All the way to 2020 on her professional business page. Her captions, if Savanna says it, I don't want it. There's a girl that lives in Dallas that I'm pretty sure is Regina George, like all the way from 2020. So this girl has been slandering my name in her captions on her professional business page for the last 4 years. I be living rent-free in this woman's head. I didn't know that her hatred for me ran 4 years deep. And that I think is crazy. If I was a client and I went on someone's business page and like every other post they were shading another professional that doesn't even live in the same state, even if they lived in the same state, it's just crazy to be so hateful for no reason. I've never talked to this woman. We've never had beef. She just like made up this narrative in her head that she hated me. And even the craziest stuff, like bashing me for using cleansing cuffs to wash my face. Nobody likes water dripping down their elbows. I don't think it's so crazy to use a cleansing cuff, but it bothered her. Everything I do really, really bothers her. So anyway, then we find out that this other company she like allegedly stole a bunch of money from and did a lot of really shady stuff with. I won't go into details because I don't want to go into details, but they reached out to me and then they like were supportive of the whole situation and they ended up giving us like a free promo code for their products for my followers, which was really nice. But there's just so much tea surrounding this lady. And I will say, it showed me who my fake friends were because a lot of estheticians that I thought were my friends, are not friends, but like acquaintances, that we DM once in a while, were liking all of these posts about me. So of course, they all got blocked. So if you're listening to this and I blocked you, you know why. I just don't have time for it. Like, if you're going to be shady behind my back and nice to my face, you don't need to follow me. You don't need to be breathing the same air I breathe. Like, we don't need to be together. You can live your life. I'll live my life. There's no beef. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you, but you showed your true colors and I'm in my protecting my peace era. So goodbye. Okay. I'm so cold in here, Paul. I'm shivering like a little duck, like a little wet duck in winter. My jaw is like quivering. He's trying to freeze me out. He's mad because I was an hour late because of all these fucking roundabouts, you guys. I hate roundabouts. Side note. I hate them. I have beef with the person that decided roundabouts were a good idea. I did 5 roundabouts in a row. One roundabout is like, makes me spiral. 5, I'm having a panic attack, okay? I had tears in my eyes because how do you know which way to go? They're so confusing. There's cars coming from every direction. Like, it is stressful. You need like a Xanax to operate a roundabout. It is expert level driving. Like, that is NASCAR racer driving, not little old Savanna trying to go to her podcast driving, okay? We drive straight. We could do a little curve, a little turn, but making me go in 5 circles within the span of 5 minutes, it's not okay. And I have beef with the person that decided roundabouts were a great idea. I hate them. I think roundabouts, honestly, might be like my number one thing that triggers me in life. Like, I just really, really don't like roundabouts. And I also blame Tyler because he usually drives us to the podcast, but he's in New York. So I had to face the roundabouts alone. And I'm not strong enough for that. But anyways, you guys got to let me know how you feel about roundabouts. I hate them. It's like black diamond driving. You know when you go skiing and they have like the bunny slopes and then they have like the black diamonds for like the pro skiers and snowboarders? That's what a roundabout is. Those are the black diamonds. I need bunny slopes when I drive. Okay. It feels warmer. I was so cold. It was so cold in here. Okay, let me find this audio for you guys. We're just going to listen to it from the very beginning. Thank you. I was so cold. It was so cold. All right, who's ready for this rant?
Hey, how's everybody doing out there today? Great. Perfect. Well, here I am on another episode of Nobody Asked For It, but somebody should have. I can barely believe my eyes. I haven't seen this many grapes since the Welch's commercial, and I didn't know that I needed to. Unfortunately, someone sent it to me, and now that I'm about to go buck-ass wild in my stories about it, she will literally have to unblock me in order to write me what she thinks about this roast. So here it is. You're a mother, okay? Your prunes, your grapes, your raisins, or whatever the hell it is that you're holding and trying to make a point about, it's not well received, okay? I don't get it. I don't condone it. And I think that this world and the industry has gone buck-ass wild. It is unbelievable to me. I mean, here I am. I need to wash my hair. I probably need to brush my teeth. I'm sitting out in the parking lot of Costco because I do my own shopping for the business, which includes all of the things, dishwasher pods, detergent, masks, you name it. I'm going to the store to get it. When in the hell is it that anybody has the time to schedule in a photo shoot where they're using fruit to cover up their tits in order to let you know that you need to stay hydrated? I've had it. I have literally had it with these people and their Instagram. You think mine is off the chain. You think I've went rogue. You think I'm unhinged. You all are making me, okay? Put the grapes down. Had a moment to do some heavy breathing.
It's the heavy breathing for me.
My opinion is still the same. Until people stop liking this trash, this literal trash on the internet, and stop imagining that in order to get someone's interest or make a point or sound educational or inspiring or worth a damn, that you have to be half naked or I don't even know. I don't even know at this point. It's the mom in me, but I just can't take it. If I took a picture like that with no top on and a bunch of raisins and grapes covering my areolas, Yuli would someday see that and think to herself, what in the hell did my mom need to take her top off for to tell people to use a face lotion? Well, guess what? Your mom never did, and your mom was on Instagram roasting someone else for it.
This is the picture she posted of me. So this part's just a picture. I'll pause real quick. So that hell no to the no is, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see maybe. Can they see it probably from here? Okay. It's just a picture of my breast close up that says, "This is where we're at, folks, all to sell skincare." And this is the audio.
Listen, since the end, since the roof, make sure that everybody gets it. One last thing. Let Savanna come at me. Let her show up in my DMs because I will leave her on unread so fast. And I will wait for someone to give me her phone number so that when she answers or I call her, I say, "This ain't Texas."
Paul's over here. Paul, my podcast guy, is over here dying because he hasn't heard all this yet. And I didn't share that part of the audio, but it is so funny. I think she's funny. She ate me up. Like, she really did. Like, it's funny. She's funny. It's funny. I think it's funny. Like, honestly, like, I've cried a lot of times about what people have to say about me. This ain't it. Because she's mentally unwell, honestly. That's why it's funny. Because no sane person acts like that. So it's actually maybe not funny. I think it's maybe sad. Or both. It's sad and funny. Two things can be true at the same time. That's my motto of the year because y'all know, I've talked about it on the podcast. I've always been like, well, I feel this way, but I also feel this way. And I'd always be like, what's right, what's wrong? You can feel two things. I feel sad for her, and I think she's fucking crazy.
Thank God I also just found this giant bag of Mexican street corn tortilla chips. Because tomorrow, I'm gonna cover myself in toasted ravioli and remind a bitch not to get crispy. You think Savannah's the only one out there with something to say? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I am from the Show Me State, and I will show you my double chin and my toasted ravioli. I said what I said. Will you create an Instagram for me?
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that was part one. I know. Let's do a recap. So basically, my favorite part out of that, me closer? Okay. Paul, I want to hear what your favorite line is. I think mine is either I don't get it, I don't condone it, or I like, oh, this ain't Texas. That's yours? Mine too. Yeah. And then she continued to make a reel with the same thing. And she was like, this ain't Texas, Dallas specifically. And then just like roast me. And the funny thing is, in all of these captions of hers roasting me dating back to 2020, she talks about how I'm not authentic or real and that I'm perfect. Does she not remember that I was literally 200 plus pounds when I was pregnant with my son? I've always been real. I've shown myself with no makeup. I've shown myself with double chin. I've shown everything. I talked openly about the surgeries I get or got. I haven't had many. I've had my C-section and then I had my breast reduction and arm lipo. But anyway, I was open about all of that. I show myself when I literally wake up and look like a crusty raisin. I show myself as a juicy grape. I've never not kept it real. I talk about mental health, my panic attacks, my spirals. I am the most real person I know. So I don't understand what her beef is with me. Anyways, so then all that happens, okay? I post my audios, not naming her name, just of me, listening to what she has to say about me. And this was public on her stories, okay? I just screen recorded it, extracted the audio, and then used it for my own content without naming her name. And so then, the employee that used to work for her, let's see, tagged her name, and then everyone started figuring out who she was. And then I think this is, let me make sure. I think this is the video where she continues to talk about it and then try to play the victim and act like I outed her. And she says that I outed her to my 300,000 followers. Did not do that. Anyone that followed this situation closely knows I protected her identity the whole time. But let's see what she says. Da-na-na-na-na. Sorry, let me find it. There's so many videos. Okay.
This is the deep breath. This is the deep breath that people take when they are overwhelmed or they feel like they want to be really over dramatic and post a funny story for their very small audience, whom are all friends and followers that have like opinions and feelings. And then there's a small percentage of that population that apparently is a troll. They live to create drama. They pass along messages of comedy and someone else's opinions and truth to a person who has a completely different following and platform, so that that person can go on to then mock them.
I did do that.
And basically have people coming at them from every angle of the universe with hatred that I can't even explain.
I'm going to pause right there. You put it out there. You should expect backlash. Just like when I put it out there, I did expect backlash, and I did get backlash, but I made fun of the backlash because it was so ridiculous to have someone go that ham. Like, if it was one comment, I'd be like, whatever. But the fact that she went on a 4.5-minute rant about me, and it was honestly funny. Of course I'm going to use it for content. Never did I ever tell anyone to bully her. Never did I ever tell anyone to harass her. I cannot control what people do. And I've learned this in the past, that if I share someone's screenshots or name, that people will go and attack and bully them on my behalf, even when I don't ask for it. So that's why I specifically made sure not to show her face, only use the audio. I blurred her face out. When I did use a clip of her vomiting when she said my name, I cropped her username out. I tried to protect her identity, but it's not my fault that you burned so many bridges, Miss Grape Lady, with so many people that everyone knew your voice. All your ex-employees heard it and started to say how abusive you were to them, allegedly. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. You did what you did, and now you have the repercussions of it. No one should tell you to off yourself. No one should tell you that you come for your appearance or anything like that. That's not fair. That's not kind. And that's not what I condone. I don't like it. I don't condone it when people are mean to other people. But again, I played no bad part in this. I always will admit my wrongs. The only mean thing I did say to her is I did DM her and said, I have a really good therapist. It sounds like you need one. Because I do. And she said back to me, apparently, that she has been in therapy since longer than I've been alive. Clearly, your therapist needs to get fired. You need a new one. You need Jan. Jan will help you. But yeah, I just don't get the victim. I mean, it's always people that are unwell like that. They will do something so awful and then turn around and just completely be the victim. And that's exactly what she's doing in these audios. So hang on, let me finish the rest.
And delete some of the most foul and vulgar and disgusting. I am literally shook. I shared my thoughts and opinions about someone else's post, and that person turned around and decided to allow the internet of their very large following to come at me in a way, not only to attack my business, not only to comment on my Google reviews, which are...
Also, that was inappropriate, guys. Whoever made bad Google reviews for her, that's fucked up. That's not fair. I don't like that. That made me sad, to be honest. Like, yeah, she said stuff about me, but like, don't affect her business. And if you're any of those people that did that and you are listening to this, do not do that, guys. I love you. I appreciate the intention behind it, but that's not something that I want. And if you know me and you truly are a fan of mine or someone who loves and supports me, you would know I don't condone that. I really and truly don't. There's no need for that. Like, you can literally just message her and be like, what you said about Savanna wasn't kind. Like, you need to think twice before you put something out there. Like, that's not a nice thing to say. But for someone to go write bad Google reviews, harass her, comment mean things, like, that's not appropriate. Not appropriate. So I do feel really bad that happened. But it seems like, from what I've heard and seen, that she got them removed. So her Google reviews are now back to normal. So yay.
People who have had my services who are judging me for what I've said about a post about an esthetician who was topless with grapes and raisins covering her breast. How did we get here? I'm so disgusted. I'm so disturbed. I'm so truly unaware of how a person who tries to say that their intention is not to bully or tear down other women, which I've never made a claim for, because when I went online and
I think that's funny. She says, I never made a claim for not bullying other women. Well, clearly, because you bully other women. Makes sense.
posted what I did, I never had an agenda to make anybody believe any differently. I shared my opinions. I'm not apologizing for them. There are millions, if not millions, of other women who feel this way, who have since messaged me to clarify that they never would have the balls to say these things, and I'm not proud of that. But what I am saying is for all of you commenting and disturbing the peace in my life with your disgusting and just totally icky vibes, I have no words. Truly, no word. Imagine yourself as an esthetician who somebody mocked and said with your 2,000 followers, I don't care that I have to.
Also never said that. I don't know if someone else did, and maybe that's what she's referring to, but I thought she was referring to me because I never pointed out follower count. I never said anything about her specifically. I literally just talked. Well, I didn't even talk. I just sat there and ate grapes to her audio. So, yeah. I don't know what she's saying about that. I don't know if she's lying or if she's referring to another esthetician that got into her DMs and like said something mean about her not having a lot of followers. I'm not quite sure.
1,000 followers. Followers on Instagram mean nothing to me. Instagram means nothing to me. So however many of you want to come at me, write me comments calling me a fat pig, a disgusting slut, sick, swamp.
Uh-oh. Did it pause? I think my phone got sick of her voice. It like won't play.
Followers on Instagram is to tell me what a bad person I am. Trust me when I say I don't give a shit if you take a shit in your hand, the palm of your hand, and decide to clap. Because guess what? Nothing. No amount of emojis of grapes, no amount of trying to tear me down as a former boss from someone who literally I will not even give my attention or satisfaction to, because the amount of creep and disgust that exists within people is truly unfathomable. It's truly unfathomable. You can hate on me all damn day if you want to for being a voice of reason and saying that this shit is fucking ridiculous. But I don't get a paycheck from Instagram. I don't get a paycheck from skincare brands. I don't get a paycheck from you. I don't care. Leave your Google reviews. All of them will be flagged. All of them will then in turn be deleted. And for anybody that's decided that Instagram is a proper forum to come at a person that you don't know on behalf of another person that you don't know.
The hypocrisy. Wait, what's the word? I can't talk today. The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. Babe, the call's coming from inside the house. Is she okay? No. She's not. But, like, take your own advice. And all of this to me, again, is so funny because she has a nude photo in the streets of New York, pregnant, covering her boobs with her hands. Maybe if I covered my boobs with my hands, she'd be okay with it. I think it's the grapes and the raisins that really just really pissed her off so bad that she decided to make that whole video about me. But again, guys, at this point, I thought that was all she's ever said about me. I did not know that her hatred for me dated back to 2020. And she's been posting about me consistently. Over 30 posts on her Instagram talk about me in the captions. 30. I live in her head, rent motherfucking free. For why? Anyways, We're not done yet, sadly, because her voice and roundabouts, that's my trigger. If you put her audio on my car and make me drive roundabouts, that would be my death wish. No.
She is, in fact, what you consider the holy grail in this industry. Trust me when I say, I have hired an attorney. I will also serve you if you even try a little tiny bit to use me and my business as a way for you to spout out about how you feel about what I said about a half-naked millennial woman who has zero insight into my life, talking about me for 25 plus slides on the internet. I am so freaking disgusted with the fact that people out here are condoning this. Until I can get a clear grasp for how to proceed, because God forbid a person who laughs and comments and for years and years and years has encouraged me to keep being myself and to keep spouting out whatever it is that I feel and do, it will not affect not a damn thing that I do within the four walls of my spa. Not even a little bit. So you can comment all the grapes. You can tell me to go kill myself, which you've done and I've deleted. You've sent me voice messages that have been so disturbing and disgusting.
I want to clarify, she's not talking about me. She's talking about all my followers.
I pray for you. I have no more words. I have no more energy left to give the population of people out there that stand behind someone who says that they don't want to bully someone, but have literally dragged them through the mud, posted their identity online, and allowed other women.
Also not true, because anyone that followed this closely knows people were mad at me for not saying who it was, and I protected this woman's identity just for her to act like I didn't, which is honestly really hurtful because I should not have given her that grace. I should have probably just blasted her name, but I was trying to be classy and take the high road and just make light of the situation. Like, my intention was never to bully her back or anything. It was just so absurd to me that I thought it was funny to use her audios, and it was. Everyone loved it. But I never said anything about her in a mean way, derogatory, never even mentioned her name. Never, still to this day, I've not said her name or her username or where she lives or what state she's in. I've never given any identifiable information on my platform. Now, the ex-employees that used to work for her and my comments on my post definitely did. And I tried again to police that, but I also have a business to run and I don't have time to police thousands and thousands of comments. And again, if you don't want shit like this to happen, why come for somebody who has a huge following? You're dumb. Like, what did she think? She thought that someone wasn't going to send it to me? I don't feel sorry for you. I really don't. The only thing I feel sorry for is people saying hurtful things to her, because that's not fair and that's not kind and that's not something that I want anyone to do on my behalf. I would never have said that to her, ever. So, but again, don't put it out if you can't take it back. What is it? Don't dish out what you can't dish. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something like that. If you're going to do it, don't be upset when people do it to you. Don't cry like a baby when you go and attack somebody who you don't know on the internet and then get upset when people that love and support this person attack you back. I think both are wrong, but it's also just so hypocritical. That part, and then also her being naked too, is just the cherry on top for me.
And to comment that they're an ugly fat. I'm disgusted. Truly disgusted. I'm almost in denial. I'm so disgusted that any human being could react in a way that would take someone else's opinions and thoughts, no matter how you felt about them, and then turn around and do the same thing to me and call me a hater, call me someone with zero insecurity, talk about my weight, my daughter, my husband, anybody in my family, including me, and think to yourself that I will give you 1 second of attention I will block you, delete you, and seriously erase your identity from anything that I can read or see. And someone is helping me with that by the grace of God's. But I am just saying, so many of you should be ashamed of yourself. This is truly disgusting. And I'm sorry, but if this is what the aesthetics industry is about, I don't want it.
Oh my God. Okay, so Grapegate. Where does it stand? As of today, she hasn't posted anything else, but she has not deleted any of the posts that talk about me. And for here, I will read you guys some. And then this episode will be ended and done. She posts a photo of herself, and this is in February of last year. Getting warmed up for the Super Bowl. Showing up at the playground at school to have a word with the second grade class for the ways they clown. And not so subtly shouting from the rooftops that if Savanna said it, I don't want it. If you know, you know. I don't have a date on this one, but it says it's just a video of her cleansing her face and said, let's normalize what it looks like to get ready. I know they do things differently in Dallas. You don't need wrist protectors, a fancy headband, or an edited version of a perfectly curated Instagram square to make a point. You don't need to be an influencer to influence. You don't need to be anything other than relatable. That's the real flex. And then she just goes on for like 5 more paragraphs, basically saying that she's real and I'm not. Did y'all know I'm actually a reptile? Okay, then let's see. We have one from her ex-employee that commented and said, this is my old boss. She is a legit psychopath, allegedly, is what I'm saying, allegedly. They didn't say that. This makes me happy that she's getting outed for all the nasty things she did. She is abusive, never paid people correctly or on time. You can tell she is abusive by the way she goes off in this. Another one said, this is my old boss. I worked for 7 months only to be constantly ridiculed, made fun of, lied to, manipulated. So God, her true colors are being shown. She always told me I'd be nothing, and I took those words to heart until I opened my very own spa. I also have an email that she sent one of her employees that is so manipulative and nasty, which I will read to you guys. Also had someone else say, hi, I saw your stories. I was in court with blank blank for 5 years over the most BS. First, I want to tell you, you're on the right side. Don't let her get to you. I've had some dark times because of her, and it's not fair to do it to yourself. Don't be afraid of her. Barking dogs don't bite, especially when it comes to blank. I would love to share more with you. Maybe we can make a Netflix series from it. I also own 9 businesses in Dallas, and it'd be great to work with you. So I talked to this person. Apparently, this lady stole a lot of money from them, and they went to court. Okay. Let's see here. We also heard, apparently she was, and this is all alleged from what I hear, apparently she was also sued for $1 million because she microneedled someone's face and gave them an infection, is what I've been told by an ex-employee. Don't know if that has any truth to it, but yeah. I also saw that she, let's see. Da-na-na-na-na. Someone says, Savanna, I'm an esthetician in the same area. Won't say the name. I used to go to her spa because my nurse injector rented a room there. Right away, I could sense that this woman's energy was so wicked. She kicked out my nurse injector because apparently people went to the nurse injector and told them that they didn't want to get facials with her. She stole all of her furniture. She used the nurse's medical license to get skin better at her spa, and she still doesn't have a medical director. I don't know if she's had one since. She is scary. She talks about politics and about you all the time. I've heard stories from other Esties and nurses that she's worked with. Things like this. She's a complete narcissist and psychopath. I'm sorry, girl, and I'm glad you're in this field. You've taught me more than school has. Protect your energy. I'm rooting for you. And here we have more things that she said about me. She says, let's see here. I get another one from, this is the third ex-employee that's reached out to me at this point that said, I could talk for a very long time about what she's done to me. This is an Instagram page that she made for me when I worked for her that I did not have the login or have access to. She would write things in captions about how much I respected her, and she also wrote about my dead dog. She wrote these captions herself and made it look like it was something that I said, always talking about how much I loved working for her. I have all the screenshots until she deleted everything after I quit. So apparently this lady made Instagrams for her employees and ran them herself and would talk about how much she loves or they love working for her. And then post about their dead dogs. And apparently the dead dog thing was like the reason she posted on that girl's page saying that that's why she stopped working there is because her dog died and she needed time to like recoup or whatever. But that wasn't the truth. So just a lot of crazy stuff. And then here's one last video we have from her. It's just never ending.
I haven't even washed my face from last night. I didn't sleep. And please don't excuse my continued efforts to be raw, vulnerable, and uncensored as an attempt to gain sympathy from anybody. Because guess what? When a person is boisterous, and we'll just use, for example, a comedian, which I'm not claiming to be, makes a joke and calls out something public, can you imagine getting so upset about it that you spend hours upon hours yourself talking about it, only with the initiative to continue sharing other people's lies and manipulation and sharing posts from another person who worked for you, who quit, who at the same time you were going to tell was fired, went on to work at another job, engaged in friendly conversation with you after that point, only to have her and now her husband DMing this person to add further fuel to a fire.
That's not my phone, that's her phone.
All for the sake of being relevant. I think this is where so many people have me confused. This is the really big part. Anybody that knows me, which is a lot of people, truly knows me, has not even wanted to know the depths of what happened on the other side.
Because they're scared of you. You're scary.
Because what has now been made of a roast is now a forest fire. And instead of hiding and doing the inner work that the public so much is encouraging me to do, ask yourself why you are online encouraging another person to continue feeding an ego of someone with no agenda.
I have a lot of agendas.
Other than to gain public sympathy.
I don't want sympathy. That's the funny thing is I never wanted sympathy. It was just funny. I'm not hurt. I'm not sad. I didn't shed a tear. I laughed my fucking ass off. My whole team did. Literally, my friend made a remix out of it because it was the most absurd rant I've ever had anyone make about me. I'm not sad. I didn't want anyone to come for you. I didn't want anyone to find out who you were. I just wanted to use it for content because it was so funny to me that you care so much about what I do on my post, on my page, and my business. That's it. I don't need sympathy. I'm not hurt. I'm not sad. Baby girl, I lived in the wilderness, okay? I have gone through some shit. I've gone through a lot in my life. If you think you calling me unclassy and a bad mom is going to make me go into a spiral and sad, you don't know me.
that was probably written in a message to me that I'm playing the victim. I'm not playing the victim. I'm coming on my page, my platform, like I always do, to decipher how in the world we got here. And in fact, one person said it's because I have a loud ass mouth. That's not why we got here.
It is. It actually
Anybody
is.
that had even a little small bit of self-respect would have taken what I said, which was obviously extremely triggering and very, very, I don't even know. I'm not sure what it did other than ignite the biggest, most palpable form of hatred I've ever seen. I don't even know, because I stopped reading them. I've seen, I don't even know how many messages or likes or encouragement on someone else's stab at not only me, but something so beyond toxic and disgusting. It does not even matter at this point what it is that you're trying to do or who you're trying to fool by saying that you need to hire someone to protect you because you're scared of me.
I did say that because I didn't know until the end of the day that day that she had been posting about me for 4 years consistently. So I was a little scared. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't sad. I wasn't hurt by what she said. I was more afraid for my protection because that's some serial stalking. Like, to care about someone and post about them when you don't follow them consistently, over 30 posts mentioning me and her captions saying we do things different here. There's an esthetician in Dallas, blah, 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 blah. Like, just Savanna this, Savanna that, Savanna this, Savanna that. And 30 posts dating back to 2020. Yeah, I'm a little scared for my life. I am. There's a little baby at the window. That's why I'm smiling if you're watching the YouTube video. Hi, little chicken nugget. Look at your haircut. You are so cute. Do you have a big ball? Precious. Oh my gosh, he's like Cyrus's age. He's so cute. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't even know. The baby distracted me. I love children. She's crazy is basically what I'm saying. She's crazy. We'll continue.
Scared of a 39-year-old woman who has a problem with the sexualization of skincare and decided to use my forum in which consists of people that pass these things around the internet asking the same questions, but just don't say anything. And it just so happens that I did. Maybe 5, maybe 10, I don't even know, in the history of history, have I said something about a wild post pertaining to this person. And all of a sudden, someone is so afraid of me that they want to file a restraining order.
I do. I am. Don't worry, Paul. It's just scary.
I sent my daughter off to school today, and I looked at her in the face and I said, I hope that when you go out that door, you never let the world make you cruel.
Paul's laughing his
Take it
ass
for
off
what
over
it
there.
is. Say what you want about me. Send me all of the pig emojis. Send me all of the grapes. Send me all of the clowns. Send me all of the guns, because I've gotten those. I think what the most important takeaway from all of this is,
I'll tell you before she tells you. The takeaway is, if you don't fucking like it, close your eyes and walk away from the screen. Don't post about other people. Period. End of story. Don't do it. It's not that hard to not be a bitch. I'm sorry. It's really not that hard to just shut your mouth and look the other way. It's not.
there's so many, is that we are allowing other people to make claims about someone else's mental health, someone else's integrity, someone else's personality, someone else's life. And those words are so powerful that they manipulate. They manipulate people into believing something about a stranger that they don't know. They fuel and add gasoline to a problem that makes them so hypocritical and so disturbed themselves that they want to throw stones. I just simply can't. And as much as a person would feel overwhelmed by such a debacle that has turned into something so disturbing, I just want to say all of the local people that don't know me that have chimed in on this, for whatever reason you have, whether it's to be loved and respected by this person, good for you. We're literally talking about a person who confronted me, unblocked me to confront me,
Until you need a
then
therapist.
blocked me again so I
Yes.
could not respond to them.
Exactly.
I can't defend myself on their ongoing attempts at bringing me as much negativity and discouragement as possible. And I'm the problem?
Yes, babe, you're the problem. Yeah.
I'm the problem.
Yes.
I was the problem. But now I'm not.
You're still the
I'm not
problem.
the problem now. Anyone contributing and doing anything to make this worse than what it is for your own self-righteous or just twisted and disturbing glee and joy, you are no better than me.
Okay, so that's the end of Grapegate. There is an email that I'll read a little bit for you guys that she sent to her employee that quit over her being abusive verbally to her. Just so you guys can make up your own decision on what you think about this lady. Again, we don't know her name. We don't know where she lives. We don't know her Instagram handle. I have never shown her face, never shown her @name, never said her full name because I don't condone bullying. I do not. But I am going to speak my piece if she's going to try to be the victim in this situation, because the only thing Savanna Boda did was make an audio eating grapes while she bashed me and called me a bad mom and trash. And number 2, made t-shirts that have nothing to do with her. It said my slogan, which I always say, be a grape, not a raisin. And number 3, say that I was scared of her and that she needs a therapist. And then number 4, my friend made a remix that I danced to. That's all I did without her name involved in it. Okay, let me find this email to read to you guys. Oops. It's really long, so I'm just going to do a couple of it. Okay. So her employee sends a resignation letter that says, "Good afternoon. I would like to start by saying that this is not like me, and I have not done this before. However, I am ending my employment with blank blank effective immediately. I've always given at least a 2-week notice, but the working conditions here have been less than desirable and unprofessional and unacceptable. I can only imagine that they would deteriorate even further if I stayed an extra 2 weeks. I have been exposed to working in an unprofessional environment with constant undeserved and unconstructive criticism. The lack of communication is so extremely poor and inconsistent. The situation has proven to show little to no respect for my personal life and me as an individual. I am constantly contacted on my days off, and I'm expected to respond immediately. I am unable to work in an environment where there's such lack of professionalism. It should never be this much of a struggle to be correctly paid by your employer and actually on time. I would like to be paid the $300. It's like an exact amount, but $309.04 that is owed to me from past missing amounts from multiple previous paychecks, which was documented and sent to you on June 14th. I would request that my check to be included with my current paycheck of $681 to be paid to me no later than Monday, June 26th. Below, I've attached my last commissions report as well as photos of where I left the key. It is in the plant outside the Airbnb entrance. Thank you for your cooperation. Signed, the person. And then she sends statements of all the commissions that this lady has not paid her. Oh, just wait for this response. It is so mean. I have like old boss trauma reading this because it is so disgusting. Blank, comma. This is from Grape Lady to that employee. I have contemplated immensely on how to respond to your resignation email. The things that you said were not only shocking, but a truly sad way of addressing any of your alleged feelings. I can't spend any time or energy trying to diffuse your email as it doesn't reflect a close depiction of any reality. I can only stick to the facts and provide you with closure and ending to your payroll. In 6 months, you never uttered a single one of these allegations or brought them forth in our meeting 3 weeks ago. I'm truly shocked that you chose to abruptly end your employment based off of a narrative that simply isn't true. Shifting any blame of your own actions and trying to deflect on the real issue is such a low blow. This is just awful. I tried multiple times to communicate with you effectively during your employment, and you simply rejected every effort. Your limited understanding of many things pertaining to your job may have led you to frustration in the end. But I've never acted in the manner you have alleged. After 6 months, there shouldn't be any confusion. Constructive criticism is a part of the job, and it was always constructive. You continued to need guidance and coaching. I realize now this is subjective because rarely were you able to function in your job without your personal life weighing in. I tried countless times to work with you, communicate with you, and contribute to your growth. I certainly won't own any of these accusations after I made so many efforts to coach you and give you immense grace through all of your many hardships in life. Being sick and losing a pet are just a few. You haven't assumed any personal responsibility for anything that happened leading up to this. The opportunity I gave you in autonomy, it says autonomy, autonomy. What does that mean? Oh, just like the being of life. Okay. The opportunity I gave you in the autonomy in your position wasn't ever what you claimed. I gave you many clients and supported your goals. I trusted you. I was always available and never myself had personal time that was respected away from work. As a business owner, I accepted that. Pause. As you should. That's your job. I trusted you. I was always available for you. Let's see. I put you in charge of running the operation when I was away, and you simply did not handle it professionally. You are very defiant against any means of communication that doesn't align with your life, yet demand immediate action on your own terms when it's unconventional. You were required to communicate, especially when I'm in another state. I'm not one to text about issues of the magnitude that you brought forth. I asked for phone communication, and that was clear and productive. I made this clear. I plan to meet with you again when I returned. I didn't get that opportunity. What happened while I was away showed little to no regard to any professionalism or personal responsibility. Scheduling time to meet with you was always impossible. I have learned a very valuable lesson through this unfortunate and abrupt ending. You put me through a very difficult and horrible situation that I have to navigate in the best way possible. I am working 16 days in a row to undo the strain of your abrupt resignation, and here you are demanding I answer you on an email that you deemed appropriate. To say what? ? You know deep down that you chose to paint this picture in a way that justified the narrative you presented. I assume it helped you feel justified in leaving me in a very stressful I assumed it helped you feel justified in leaving me in a very stressful and unfair situation. After everything I did to you, in all caps, did for you. You will never find an opportunity similar to this where someone will go out of their way to ensure your success the way I did. I was patient, kind, and overly sensitive to all your needs. Your personal circumstances have dictated a lot in your life, and I can't own that. I have helped you in countless of ways and gone above and beyond of a boss. The situation is deeply sad, and I am not sure how to process it. I can imagine you don't regret your decision, and I know the many ways I contributed to your success. The time I spent training, providing, and paying for education and mentoring you was overly gracious. she's just so manipulative. You will leave this job with many skill sets that are valuable to your career. In 6 months' time, you never utilized yourself to bring in any clients or posts to social media. I spoon-fed you every client and every opportunity that you were given and was left with your abrupt resignation after coming back from a vacation on Father's Day, 24 hours before your scheduled shift, to find my key in a plant outside the spa. Seriously? Packing all your belongings and certificates without anyone there, ? That is the definition of unprofessional. This girl was obviously scared of you, and that's why she did that, because you were abusive to her. Then she says, there is simply no way to right the wrong here, but I will inform you that there is no payroll that should be issued. After all deductions and deficits are reflected, you actually owe me. The errors you cited also are in question. I realize that is not a win situation for you, and I won't be proceeding with collecting anything further. As an act of good faith, I will meet you in the middle. If you wish to further dispute that, you will need to find an attorney. I have consulted with one, and I couldn't get all this wrapped up within the deadline you tried to impose. To be honest, you don't deserve to be compensated for anything. Maybe this is why you made a point to sorry guys, so long, and it's like giving me stress. It's like popcorn reading. Maybe this is why you made it a point to continue bringing up money rather than owning any responsibility in this matter. So basically what she's trying to say is that the employee owes her money because she had to cancel clients because she quit, instead of paying her the commissions that she's owed. That's illegal. When you're a business owner, it is your responsibility. If someone quits, they don't owe you money for the money that's lost. That's not part of the deal. This is so illegal, and she bullied this poor girl. She said, you have acted in a way that has damaged the business both monetarily and physically. The amount of clients I had to cancel supersedes your check entirely. Not to mention the many Groupon clients I will have to refund and pay a penalty on because I can't physically take on that burden. This could have been different with your required notice to end your employment. Your airline ticket, which I will not be using your personal vouchers to offset. They are yours. You can keep them. It is not proper for me to use them at any point when you are no longer employed. There were errors on services performed with actual payments collected that you consented to take from your check. Consults done with the clients had yet to receive service that you were paid a commission on. Two clients canceled their memberships after your abrupt departure. One guest demanded her gift purchase back because she didn't want to work with me and only you. Failed sales tax collected on product sales that the company still will be responsible for. Education paid by me and in addition paid to you for attending. Trades allowed with your stylists that were an extreme gracious nature based on your employment rather than ownership. Refunds given to accrued fees that the business lost. So many losses to the business. Money lost with offering gracious discounts to help you keep your books full. Money spent on professional headshots for our website. I can provide all of this to your appointed representative's request. It far supersedes any amount that I owe you for payment. But like I said, I will graciously provide half of what you are disputing. Based off the many events, I have no choice but to recoup a small percent of these funds to help balance all of the damages from you quitting. In addition, you have accessed spending reports with no permission. You communicated with clients against my wishes and clear instructions not to. In conclusion, you are not to communicate with any of the clients, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, there's still 3 more paragraphs. It's the longest email ever. If you would have brought forth any of these concerns in your resignation email and provided an opportunity to discuss them, things could have been very different. Providing notice to your employer would have allowed for a smoother transition if you felt we couldn't have worked through them. You are avoiding any conversation and leaving without owning your any role. And this girl told me that she was just so verbally abusive to her that she didn't feel comfortable staying for 2 weeks. I don't blame her. She said, I understand you do what's best for you, even if it means burning a bridge that I built for you. Thank you for your services at blank blank. Wishing you all the best. The communication with me stops here. Get legal representative if you want the full pay. She's just a beautiful woman. And apparently the girl never even got paid half. So she never paid her any money. And if this is all, which it is true because I have the emails, it's just not appropriate what she did to this poor girl by saying, I'm not going to pay you because people canceled their memberships and canceled their appointments after you left. That's not her responsibility. That's not her job. It's illegal. But anyways, I'm about to pee my pants, and that's all I have to say about Grapegate. And I hope that it ends. And this lady, I will say, she needs help. Bye. Put the grapes down.